Yeah. Hello and welcome back to another video. My name's Elijah and today we're going to be answering the question, should you buy a PS4 for Christmas 2020? So if you're watching this video, you probably are aware that the new PlayStation 5 was just launched last month in November. And the PlayStation 5 is that truly next-gen feel. It's got huge graphical potential over the PS4. It's got that new DualSense controller with the adaptive triggers and the new haptics inside. It's got that crazy new design that is absolutely massive, by the way. It kind of looks like a spaceship. All of those things really give it that true next-gen feel. But with that being said, the PS5 right now is selling for, I believe, $500. And at the current moment, as of early December, it's going for much, much higher than that because it has been extremely hard to find. So with all of that being said, me a couple months ago, I've never actually owned a PlayStation in my life before. I've been purely Nintendo and I should say it this way. I've been mostly Nintendo all the way through my life, but I did have an Xbox 360 as well. Oh, and I did have a PS2 at one point as well. So anyways, I've never had a PS4 or an Xbox One, anything from this console generation. Until a couple months ago, me and my brother had a friend who was upgrading to the PS5 and he was selling his PS4. This is the PS4 Slim model. So we decided to pick it up because why not? So yeah, all of this video is based off of my experience with the PS4 being brand new to me as of just a month or so. So right off the bat, one quick thing that I wanted to touch upon is the design of the console, because to me this is something that is a little bit important when you're trying to choose which console you want. The PS4 Slim here is nice and small, really compact. It really has an understated look, but yeah, it's just a nice little slim console. So, I mean, it is the PS4 Slim. So, okay, next, moving on to the controller. This is the DualShock 4. We have a couple of them that we got. We got this red one with the system, and then we also picked up gold because my brother, he likes gold. And yeah, my first impression after only using a DualShock 4 maybe once or twice at a friend's house is, dang, this is a great controller, I gotta say. The analog sticks for me are the perfect length apart for my thumbs. I do have probably normal sized hands, not huge, but not tiny either, so like, works great for me. The D-pad's really satisfying. I mean, I haven't played any 2D platformers or fighting games, so I've only used this for like switching weapons or whatever. The face buttons are fine, nothing to complain about really. Perfectly clicky and they work great. The touchpad is honestly kind of useless from what I've found so far, but after some research online, it seems like that's kind of what everyone thinks. The triggers are great, same with the shoulder buttons, feel really satisfying, especially for first-person shooter games. Just works great. And now with the DualShock out of the way, let's talk about the games. The most important thing. So far in my experience, I've been playing games like Destiny 2, Overwatch, The Last of Us 2, that's really it. No, I'm kidding. There are a couple more, but those have been my favorites, especially The Last of Us 2. I mean, dang, that game is good. If you have not played The Last of Us 2, it's really good. I really like it. The graphics on this 7-year-old system absolutely still hold up today. The Last of Us 2 looks stunning, even on the PS4 Slim. Again, not a PS4 Pro or anything. Literally looks like a movie. I showed this to my parents as I was playing it on the TV, and they thought it was a movie. So you're not missing out on anything huge. Sure, if you look at games on the PS5, you often get higher frame rates, higher resolutions, and things like HDR and ray tracing. And yes, those are all really nice things to have, but when you put games side by side with the PS4, right now there isn't that big of a leap. Think of it in terms of the history of gaming consoles. So the jump from 16-bit consoles like the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis to something like the original PlayStation was huge. That was a big graphical leap from two-dimensional to 3D. After the PlayStation 1, moving to the PlayStation 2, another huge leap in graphical fidelity to games that looked more real than ever. And then from the PS2 to the PS3, that gap got a little bit smaller, still impressive because we went from standard definition to high definition, so some good differences there, but the gap was smaller. And then from the PS3 to the PS4, that gap was smaller still, in that the PS4 certainly looks better than the PS3, but it's not as big as a leap as it was back years ago, coming from 16-bit to the original PlayStation 1. And so now in 2020, the leap from the PS4 to the PS5 is the smallest gap ever. And looking at games side by side, like Spider-Man Miles Morales, you can really see that, yes, there are differences, and yes, the PlayStation 5 looks better, but you're not really missing out on that much, especially at the launch of the PS5. Maybe 6-7 years down the road, when developers have figured out how to use the full potential of the PS5, things will end up looking much better than the PS4. But at least as of right now, you're not missing out on that much. And because of that, developers are still mostly releasing their games on PS4 as well as PS5. So games like Call of Duty, is it Civil War? Cold War. So games like the new Call of Duty, I don't know what it is, I don't play COD, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Cyberpunk, they are all coming out on PS5, but they're also coming out on PS4. And looking at some of the early graphical comparisons side by side, you really won't be missing out on that much playing on PS4. And if the time ever comes, again, maybe a couple years down the road, that you want to upgrade to PS5, all of your PS4 games will work on the PS5. So getting a PS4 now and starting to build your library isn't such a bad idea. So with that being said, I do think that buying a PS4 in 2020 for Christmas might be a good idea for you. If you're somebody who maybe is on a little bit of a lower budget, but you still want to get into that PlayStation gaming world, you can pick up one of these for super cheap. Now, I would be cautious, maybe don't buy the launch PS4 because those things sound like jet engines when they're playing games. I wouldn't pick up a launch PS4. But if you want to get a PS4 Slim or a PS4 Pro, I think you'd be pretty well off. Super cheap, still great controller, still great graphics, still great games, and all of it will be compatible on the PS5 if you do decide to upgrade down the line. So yeah, that's the PS4 in 2020. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down below if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer. And yeah, I'll see you around. Peace.